him, even like, like the recent altercation or whatever with someone trying to get at you sideways. Like,
we're going to talk about it.
Yeah, like even in instances like that, it's my instinct to protect my friends, and people that I fuck with. So when I saw that, like even though I'm like, damn, I don't necessarily really want that smoke. Like I don't, but I'ma still jump off the porch with it if I fuck with you like that.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, everybody wants to know how I feel about the academics thing. So let's just iron out officially what we were talking about, just so that the evidence is all compiled here accurately. What I got sent, and you can tell me if there's more that I'm missing or whatever, is that, I don't know, Monday of last week, I think, that he was doing a live stream, talk about Tori and Meg, and at the end of it, he ends up going on a Flakko rant. Basically, before the interview with the Sinner and the Saint came out, I had watched it to do timestamps. And the part where Flakko talked to Sinner and the Saint about Akademiks, who, for people who don't know, this is like a manosphere guy who basically had beef with Akademiks.
Who just took a shot at me, by the way.
Sinner and the Saint?
Yeah.
Did you diss him?
I think
that means yes.
Fight.
No, like I guess when we were talking about the manosphere, I kind of made a couple derogatory remarks along the lines of like, it kind of has a lot of these dudes, and I didn't specify him because I don't really know who any of them are, too many of them specifically, but I was like,
okay, you got to fight him for sure.
I was like, you guys have a lot of y'all have the vibe of people that never got pussy as teenagers.
But I sent the link to Ak.
I would take that as disrespect too.
Yeah, but
okay, let's stay focused. Let's stay focused. We're talking about the Sinner and the Saint. I sent the link to Ak just on some friend shit, like, oh, we're friends. I'm gonna send this to him as soon as it comes out so that he can kind of, see what I was talking about, because I felt like this dude was raging out on Ak, and Flakko, as like literally kind of like a student of Ak, should probably have like done a little bit more to defend him. And part of that also was that I didn't bother to send it to Destiny, or actually maybe I did send it to Destiny, but like Flakko did the same thing with Destiny, where he was kind of just letting this dude say whatever and didn't like try to fucking hold him accountable for anything, because during the whole argument that he had on stream with Destiny, it was like super fucking one-sided. Like Destiny just wiped the floor with him. And
the Saint and Sinner guy?
Yeah, and from watching the interview that Flakko did with him, you would think that the Saint and Sinner dude like destroyed Destiny, whatever. But he did the same thing about Ak, where he was like basically just like declaring that Ak was this fat loser, whatever, and all this stuff. And Flakko didn't defend him as much as I would have expected, so I sent it to Ak. Now, Ak aired that out during that live stream and basically acknowledged that I had sent it to him. Now, that's kind of weird in the first place, right?
Courtesy.
Because I sent it to him just on some informative shit, but he kind of like framed it almost like I was like setting Flakko up, I think, a little bit. Like, when I sent that to Ak, I didn't think I had to say like, oh, like, don't mention publicly that I like told you to watch this, but whatever.
But I don't even think that matters at the end of the day. You're doing a professional courtesy.
Yeah, I didn't think it was a big deal or whatever, and I don't think Flakko felt any way about it. But then then he just like casually throws in like, your boss was begging me to fuck his girl. Yeah. So it's like, I don't understand how I could possibly be getting a shot thrown at me in this conversation when it doesn't have anything to do with me. Flacco's the one who I told you was, I felt like not holding you down enough. And so then for him to say that, which for the record, anyone who's seen this clip knows that that's not what's going on in that clip. That was like the third time I ever hung out with her. And he said, would you fuck her with me? And I was just like, sure, let's do it.
You were joking.
That was it.
Fucking around.
There was nothing that could even come close to being like begging. And also, like, let's be real, I just didn't even know her like that at the time we had just met. So, I try to have thick skin when it comes to my girl a little bit, just because, being a porn star, you just kind of realize pretty quickly that like people say all kinds of things about you that they probably wouldn't say about other people, and you just kind of have to be tough about it. But I just like couldn't understand why the fuck he would say that and throw that in. Like, if me and you are going to be on good terms, and we're going to, like, I've been on
Clearly, he don't care about being on good terms.
Right, but like we were prior to this, right? Like I've been on his podcast twice and, done whatever other things and stuff. And it's like that first time I did the podcast, he said some shit, I forget, that like I wasn't feeling, basically, about the Lena thing or whatever.
The 3-hour podcast y'all did together?
They did 5. Because I remember that's when T-Rail was on there too, because I was in Tennessee.
During the 3-hour podcast.
Oh, no, so you're talking about the one... Wait.
He was going off like on you super tough.
That was 5 hours.
Yeah, 5 hours.
And then you went home.
The first one, that's when Redacted Girl and the House Phone was there.
Okay, that one back in the day. But I'm talking about Okay, so this, if you want to go back in time, we had that whole blowout argument thing or whatever, and then me and him got on stream together with Selena. He muted Selena, and then we proceeded to basically like talk it out, and we ended that conversation basically on good terms, right?
And was he mad at you initially because you like gave Selena a position? Because that's like
a position
I
to
feel
talk
like
shit
a bunch
about
of
him.
it.
Basically.
It kind of came from that, but it was also just like there were girls, and he felt like I was creating a narrative by saying that he was like anti-woman to Sarah Molina or some shit like that. There was basically like a bunch of shit that sort of built up, and then the Selena thing kind of put it over the top, where all of a sudden me and him are like going to war or whatever. We do that
and
for
you're platforming his ex-girlfriend essentially in his eyes. Yeah,
something like that.
It's not. It wasn't just the ex-girlfriend though. He just don't like Adam bringing people onto the platform to specifically talk shit about him. That's what.
But I don't think
that's what he thinks is happening. Though,
and that's not in reality though.
No, it's
that's
not at
why
all.
you
I don't even remember if she said anything about him around that time.
If you know Adam don't give a fuck about none of this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, the way that I look at everything, like, you got to think about it. When I first came here, nigga, and Adam would tell you, Josh would tell you, the first time that he was wilding out and he was going crazy, I'm not even on the Tuesday show yet. I'm over there watching. I'm like, I'm mad as fuck. I'm like, man, fuck this nigga, right? I'm over there, nigga, fuck this nigga, bro. Woo, woo. I'm telling Adam, nigga, let's get Adam, let's go crazy. Adam's like, like, I ain't even tripping like that. So I'm like, okay, I got that registered in my head. Then the situation happens again. And I'm mad again. And I'm like, nigga, Adam, man, fuck that. He can't talk like that. And then Adam was like, you know, and I learned a lot from Adam, like he just said. You can't fight everybody. You can't do some shit like that. I get it. Everybody ain't the same way. You feel me?
But okay, so after we do that long-ass Twitch conversation or whatever, then we're on good terms or whatever. And he had said a bunch of shit during all that pissed me off, but it's like, okay, we squashed it, so I'm just let that go, whatever. And then however many months after that, I ended up going on his podcast. And then when I was in New York one time, I went on his podcast again. And the first time that we did the podcast together, it was like there was a few different comments that I didn't like, whatever. And I ended up hitting him up privately and just being like, hey, bro, like, if we're going to do content together, we could joke around about whatever, we could fuck around, whatever, but like just the shit about my girl, like I don't appreciate it. Like for me to be cool with anybody, my girl is just like the first thing that's off the table. Is like we're not joking around about her. You got to show her respect, whatever. And I get we're porn stars, so it's like I do have a little bit more ability to like laugh at ourselves than the average person, I would think. But for me, that's just off the table. Is I don't fuck with anybody who's gonna have anything negative to say about my girl, especially given the fact that my girl never does anything that gives anybody reason to talk shit about her.
Facts.
She just completely stays out of all this shit.
Except for in prison at Ralphie.
Okay.
That's scandalous, but that's another conversation.
Really good joke. Anyway, so then I had that conversation with him privately where I'm basically just like, yo, like, I don't appreciate that. And I forget exactly how I went, but it was like something like an apology. And I was like, well, it's kind of annoying that this is like behind the scenes that he's like telling me that he, sorry for it or they won't do it again or whatever. But whatever, I'm just gonna brush it off and just be like, this occurred privately, but even though the disrespect occurred publicly, but I'm just gonna whatever. But then for me to see him like feel the need to say that again during the fucking Flakko thing, like, and then like people told me, I didn't see it, but like they told me that like the next day he's on and he was kind of like almost saying that he didn't mean it or he was apologetic or that he, I fuck with no jumper or whatever. But it's
he was
like
swerved.
What do you mean?
He was drunk the first night.
Yeah, but still, it's like, bro, I can't fuck with that. Like, you just like some things just are not on the table. And like, listen, if you have a criticism of anyone who works here and it's like a valid criticism, that's cool. But to tell this like exaggerated fucking weird version of something that happened on stream between you and her and I like 7 years ago before we were dating or whatever is just, I don't get it.
After I hear the shit 5 or 6 times, it's like, at this point, it's like, all right, nigga, if Adam ain't ready to, nigga, let's go put the pitchfork up. Let's go kill this nigga. Not literally, but you know what I'm saying? Like, then I already know. I talked to him. I talked to Adam. I was like, hey, how you feel about this? And bro tell me. He was just like, I don't fuck with it, but like, it is what it is.
I mean, because I'm not going to like respond to it by being like, oh, I'm going to go on this fucking hate campaign and just be like, fuck academics and all this shit. I'm just going to be real about it. Like, it hurt my feelings and I don't understand. I just don't get how you could be like friends with somebody, have them on your podcast multiple times and then still feel like it's okay to do that. And I thought about just hitting them up privately and just being like, bro, can we talk? And like, but I didn't want to like settle it off camera and just like have it just be this other like lingering thing that the fans are always asking about, because to me it's just like such obvious respect. Like I could never imagine saying anything like, obviously we joke around about each other's girls or whatever, but especially when you're like engaged to somebody, it's just like, if you're going to be on good terms with somebody, why would you even think about doing that? So I'm not like going to respond with like anger and be like mad or whatever. I was just a little let down and just disappointed because I just didn't think he would do that at this point in our, because we do talk like semi regularly.
So Akademiks is for sure not invited to the wedding.
Well,
I
wasn't really considering it, but yeah, I suppose that's fair, Lush.
I mean, how is Lena reacting to all this shit when it goes down?
So she didn't even know for like the first week, and then she hit me up like a day or two ago and was like, "Is that clip of?" Because she went on the Reddit just randomly, and she goes, "Is that clip of Akademiks old or new?" Because she's like, "It seems like it would have been something from like a couple of years ago," and I'm like, "No, that was from like 5-6 days ago." And she was just like, "That's so crazy.
Like he's still
why?
on that.
Like why would he even say that?" I'm like, "I don't know. I'm confused."
Yeah.
Like
See,
you are.
I seen that, and then recently they sent me another clip where, because the first thing I seen was AD Sharp T-Rail. They did, and then I hear, "I'll take down Sharp T-Rail AD," and I'm like, "Oh, now my Spidey senses is singling and shit." But
But he was basically like, I don't know, like that's another weird thing. Is it's like, why does he feel the need to kind of go at you guys as a group? And he'll like give you guys, like some of you, a little bit of flowers and be like, okay, him and him are okay, but the rest of them are trash. So it's like he's kind of like causing a little bit of weird conflict where you have somebody like AD who will just go on the podcast and just be like, "Yes, I'm in the cool kids club," and then everybody else is bummed. But I mean, it's just, why is that even a consideration? Because like when he's saying like basically like, "I'll take them out," or "I do more views than everybody combined," or whatever, it's like, nobody was talking about that. Like, I've never been sitting here being like, "Damn, am I getting as many views as Akademiks?" Like, me and Vlad don't have that conversation. Like, I don't have that conversation with anybody about like who's the biggest or who has the most viewers or whatever. It's like, that to me, I see the fans doing it, but I just don't really want to be like spending my life having those conversations. I didn't come this far in life and make this much fucking money to just be sitting around fucking.
He's doing great. We doing great. That's what it comes down to.
I'm saying. Everybody's doing fine. Then like, why are we even comparing ourselves or whatever? Like, I get that could be fun in a fun sense, but the way he was saying it about like, "Oh, fucking Sharp AD T-Row," whatever, it didn't really seem that.
hey, but
fun.
still, when he come to LA, I already told him. You feel me? He said he want to sit down with us. I'm gonna say that shit to my face. But that's that's the homie.
Didn't you just talk to him on the phone like a week ago?
Yeah, but still.
But that's
But you didn't like the way he talked about you after the fact?
I didn't see the first shit. Then I was like, all right, because he always giving niggas flowers, but it's like, I'll take a nigga down. Like, we don't give a fuck about this internet shit. We ain't no bitches.
But you know that the cringe part about it is that
At all.
The cringe part is that, so there's this dude Loon, right, who does podcasts, and he has some kind of deal with Revolt or something, and I just went on his podcast, so everybody check that out if you want. But he tried to, and I filmed it, I don't know, maybe like a month before now, or maybe even longer, maybe like 5-6 weeks ago, whatever. And he tried to press the Akademiks issue. He tried to be like, "I feel like you don't like Akademiks, or he don't like you, and y'all are just not facing up to it," or whatever. I don't know what he watched that like made him think that, or like. But I basically sat
Perhaps
there.
him yelling at you on stream for 3 hours straight.
Right, probably something like that. But that was like a long time ago. So I kind of was just like, "Bro, that was a long time ago. Yeah, we had issues, but we got past it. I don't have any issue with him. I think," and I'm like defending him as being one of the top interviewers. Like, if you actually watch it, it's like I'm being such a good friend to him and just like holding him down so hard against somebody who like is clearly trying to disrespect him. And then like that literally came out like 2 days ago. And then, meanwhile, all this shit is on the fucking Reddit of everybody being like, "Oh, is Adam going to respond to Akademiks? House phone's about to burn the whole house down."
No, and
Look, he dropped the cherry.
And that's how I felt though, because I'm like, okay, every time that I have a conversation with him, he's always saying, "Yeah, you doing your thing with community. I fuck with you. You should be getting paid this much." He says this thing. So I'm like, I appreciate that. You feel me? All that is cool. But when you say I'll end you and do all shit like that, I'm like, I'm not Adam. You feel me? Like, nigga, I'm not with the insults and you feel me? And
Adam is also not with that.
No, I know.
I'm an unwilling participant.
But I'm just saying. I will call Wack when that comes to LA. I will say, "Hey, bro, you the homie, so we're not gonna pack you out. You should catch the head up, and we can go back to doing what we do." That's how AD gets down. That's
He
how
said he
me and
was
my
going to
niggas
fight
get
Lil
down.
Baby.
Well, he can. I mean,
that was crazy.
I mean, shit. It is what it is.
But he Okay,
If
go
you
ahead.
go to-
I didn't think he was going to be fist fighting anyone. So when I realized that he was actually down to fight Lil Baby, I was kind of impressed.
I'm not with an insult and a compliment. So if you feel me, if it's gonna be like that, hey, hit up Whack. You feel me? Because I respect you. We ain't gonna do no weirdo shit when you here. We can link up, box this shit out real quick. We can shake hands and go back to content.
Him
and keep it pushing. That's what I
him
get at.
fighting.